ways to do some tracking. This way you can have something like this. Or if you got a logo or something, you can do something like this. Now it's real simple. I'm not gonna make it complicated at all. I'm gonna do this as quick as I can just to show you guys how to do it. I'm not gonna go into any real detail. Again, we're gonna keep it simple, keep it easy. Let's get to it. All right, so I'm gonna start with the logo first, and we're gonna put it on this mountain. So what we're gonna do is we've got a clip sitting here in the timeline. We're gonna go down here to the Fusion tab. Now, I know the Fusion can be a little bit intimidating, but trust me, it's not as bad as it looks. Once you get used to it, just don't be scared of it. It's all right. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we gotta get a track right here. So we're gonna hold down the Shift key, hit the space bar, and we're gonna type in here, track. Now for this one, we need a planar tracker. For the next one we'll do will be just the regular one. But for this one, we need the planar tracker. So we click add and it drops it in here. Now what you'll notice is that it turns our cursor into some crosshairs here. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger so I can see. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna add some points. We'll put one here and we're gonna make a box. Here, 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 then connect it back up there. All right, so we've got our box. Looks good. So once we get our box drawn up here, what we want to do is we're going to come over here and we want to hit set. All right, and all that's going to do is set the frame. We're at frame 0, so that's what all we're going to do. And then we want to come over to this button over here and just track it. And it's going to create a bunch of tracking points inside there. Looks something really, really cool. And we'll just let this track out for a second. And good. And now it's done tracking. And as you can see, it's tracked there. All right, so I'm just going to go back to the beginning. So I want to be able to put a logo on this. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to come up here to where it says operation mode and change that track to corner pin. Now here's where it gets weird for me, guys, because I have no idea why it does this. I don't really understand the ins and outs of what is actually going on here. I just know that, you know, now we have to grab these points and kind of put them, and put them back where we started from. Like, I don't know why it does this. I really don't. But we just kind of put that there. All right, and then it's back. We'll zoom back out. All right, so it did that. I don't know what's up with that, but all right, we put it back. So now I need to go over here and I need to grab my logo and I'm gonna drop it in there. Let's get this back out the way. And now I want to take the output of the logo and drag it onto the tracker. And when we do that, we see we get the logo up here. Now, so I need to make this bigger, but I can't do it in the inspector like we did with the text. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to do shift space and I'm gonna have to add a transform node here. Then once I do that, I can come in here and change the size of it, make it bigger, and kind of put it, that looks good. Yeah, I'm not gonna make this one too good, but once you do that, and that's it. Now I will say that the planar tracker is a little bit more system intensive, so playback is going to be a little splotchy. So you know, if you don't have an up to par system, just be ready for that. But as you can see, now we have the logo attached to the mount. Alright guys, I had some technical difficulties. So for this one, it's just gonna be me on voiceover. And to be perfectly honest, the technical difficulty was I do not have any charged batteries for my camera. So instead of just waiting for them to charge, I'm just gonna do it this way. Alright, so, and this one is the point tracker. I have a clip here of a race car. It has some pretty fast movement, so I figured it would be good. The only issue with this clip is if you look toward the end here, the car gets a little blurry, so that part of it is going to be hard for the tracker to stick. So I'm actually going to trim this clip some, and we'll cut it off about right in there. And at the beginning of it, I'm going to start it right when we can see the car from it, about right in there. This up, and back. All right, so right in there. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go down to the Fusion tab. And again, we have our media in and our media out. So for this, it's the same thing. We're going to do Shift space bar. We're going to search for tracker. Now for this one, instead of the planar tracker, we're just going to do straight tracker. All right, so we're going to add it. And now we get our tracking node. So if you look up in the window here, what you now get is this tracking point thing. And let me make this a little bit bigger so it can be seen. You're gonna get this tracking thing here. What you gotta do is you gotta take this and drag it to whatever you're gonna track. So I'm gonna put it on the car, maybe somewhere, maybe on this red part here. We'll try it there. All right. Now you just got to adjust your boxes here. Now, listen, the boxes are, just know that the center box is what it's tracking, and then its outside box is other things that it's looking for. I'm not going to go into big detail about it. Just adjust it so it's looking at whatever it is you're trying to track. Okay, just keep it simple, right there. All right. So, just like before, we're going to go over here and we're going to go to track forward. And what it's going to do is it's going to track the car. Boom, tracking complete. And so if we go back, you can see it tracks the car. Now, if you look right here, it got a little wonky right here. That's okay. That is okay. Alright. No problem whatsoever. So let's just get it here. Let's grab our tracker again. And what you can do is you just move it to where it needs to be. We're gonna put it back there. Alright. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make this box a little smaller, and then when you do that, when you have to make adjustments, instead of retracking everything, which in this case isn't that big of a deal because it's the beginning of the clip, but if it was toward the end of the clip, you would click on this button and that is going to track it from the current place, right? So I'll just hit that. And like I say, because it was pretty much the beginning of the clip, you know, it pretty much just retracted all. But as you can see, the tracker is in there, and boom. Still got a little wonky, but I think it'll work. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to add some text to this, right? So click off of it. Make sure nothing is selected here, because if it's selected and you click on the text, it's gonna do something stupid. So make sure nothing is selected. Click on text and add a text. So here we're just gonna do race car, and then we're gonna connect the output of this node and just take it down to the tracker. Now, if you notice you still don't see anything, that's okay, don't panic. Click on your tracker node, and what you've got to do is go over here to operation, and where it says operation, change it from none to match move, and boom. Now you have your text, right? And it's there. Now you see, you know, there's a couple of places where it kind of jumps around a little bit, which, you know, not that big of a deal. But if you don't want it to do that, or if you want to try to clean that up, have on your tracking node and these buttons down here. I normally take off rotation and scale, and I leave position checked. And when I do that, it tends to kind of stay in place just a little bit better, unless it just really gets crazy, right? So now we can just click back on our text node here. We can change the font to, you know, something a bit crazy. Then we change the shading to, you know, a shadow. Enable that, and boom. Now we can go back to our edit tab and play this, and now you have words that are tracked to your subject. And this is just the easy way to do this, guys. You know, I always say, like in this one, just kind of play with it. You know, play with the sliders in there, see what it does. If you don't like it, change it back. You know, it's no big deal, but change it, have fun with it. So I do apologize for the technical difficulties, but we got through it. So if you guys like this video, man, go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you have not already, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.